I'm going to go over a few NUKZ stocks on the 5-minute time frame and give you some price targets for Monday. First off is SMR. We ended the week at $24.49, up a whopping 13%. Congratulations if you've made some money off of this ticker. Now, this is where we are. To the north side takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 25.64. Another level of resistance and also a potential take profit area, 26.28. And at 4 standard deviations, roughly 26.96. To the south side takes us back to the middle of the trend, and that is 24.25. VWAP is in blue at 23.69. So from where we are, taking us down is that level. And to the south side of that at -2 standard deviations, 22.90. And the lower channel of VWAP, 22.65, also another potential buy-in area. And at -3 standard deviations, 22.20. And roughly 21.52, another potential buy-in area or possibly a stop loss area, depends on how you like to play this. And looking left, note the bounce here at support. This is support, support, support. So we hit all the way here, not quite down to -4 at that time, and bounced up all the way to resistance and then the sell-off and then all the way back down to support. And now we are breaking through resistance and hopefully on the way up. And then looking at the RSI on the 5, we're not overextended just yet, but getting very close. So we could go up and then roll over, and that would coincide with this level and then rolling back down to support. And if we're up here, going down is support, support, support. On the way up, it turns into resistance. Next up, one other thing before I move on. The 1-year price target on this is now $29, which represents an 18.42% return from where we are. And off of earnings, the reported was 475,000. The estimate was a whopping 3.9, so we did not make it, but yet the stock still ran. That's the irony of it all. All right, the next one up is NNE. We ended the week at 22.82, up 5.16%. To the north side takes us to resistance and the middle of the trend, the median, the baseline, where price likes to go through when it goes to the upside or to the downside. It has to slice through the center, and that is 23.32. Let me move this line too, because that's off. Yeah. So that is 24.60, 25, 22, 21-ish, and 25.86. And we've got this gap to the upside that takes us to 26.92, which I've been tracking since over here, and that would be October 22nd. And look at this, the fall from grace, because we hit resistance and fell back down. Expect people to take their profits and run, lock in, and they leave, and then they do it all over again. So this is what we are dealing with, getting whipped around, and now hopefully riding back to where we were. And this one I have to clean up. There was a gap here, and again, remember, I just extend this when I chart out, no idea where we're going to hit, and we hit right here to the upside, and that took us to 19.20. So from down here, we had a gap fill, and then we fell back down, went sideways. And then this gap is still in play, taking us to 15.59. And then we have another one, another one, another one, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, just something to be aware of when we reverse course. All right. And I look at this. When I tracked this for Miram, we were here, we went up to resistance, fell back down, back up to resistance, and then went back down, grinding sideways, and then falling, and then making our way back up. Okay, the next one is, do I have a price target? The price target on this one is $58. That's a return of 154%. Now, obviously, it's going to whip you around. It's not going to come easy, but that's just something to be aware of in the big picture. I'm not looking at this on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, but keep that in mind. Just little movements to get to that level. which is a long ways from now. NUKZ. I want to thank Trader Marat, for pointing this out. When I did the other NUK stocks, he mentioned this one, which I was not tracking. So now I'm adding it to this group of tickers that I am tracking. So when he talked about it, we were at $42.86. We ran up a little bit and then got smacked down. Okay, back to, from up here, support, one level of support, went sideways, and look at this, riding it all the way back up again. And the high of the week was 45.75, which was also a 52, was the high of the day and the high of the 52-week range. So now for your price targets. 45.95, 46.98, and 48.01. Analysts do not give price predictions on ETFs. You can roll over to the daily and figure that out yourself. You do not need an analyst to tell you where we're going or where we're headed. You can figure that out for yourself very easily. Okay, so to the south side, back at the middle of the trend, 43.90. Then we've got this gap to the south side. Let me just change that. Do that for this one. Okay, and then we've got this nasty bugger also. All right, so let me do this again. So roughly 43.90-ish, 41.86, 40.86, and 39.84. You don't need to mark out gaps. I like to kind of give us a direction. But if you play the linear, it will wipe out the open gaps to the north side or to the south side. All right. What goes up must come down. What goes down doesn't necessarily get back up again, but sometimes you have to get down to get back up. So that's NUKZ. The next one I want to go over is LTBR. A couple of traders have talked about this. And the latest one is Mr. Quitting Smoking is Awesome. He is tracking this, and he's got some big money, big money wrapped up in this one. He put in, he says 20K. And so I wanted to break this down. But the last time I tracked it for someone was Victor. So we were up here, we ran up and then slammed back down. And from up here, this turns into support, and then this is support also. And now we're climbing our way back up. So first, your price targets. 956, 1041, 1082, and don't hold your breath for Monday from where we are. I don't think we could get this high, but that's 1124. Oh, I want to do one thing while I'm here. I'm going to mark this out for Monday. Okay, and Friday is going to be here. Just for giggles, I want to mark this. So, to the south side, 874, 833, 789. Let's mark out this gap. This one. That will be right there. Extend it. It's a baby gap, and I really don't play these, but because I want to be very precise here. And then I've got this gap, a baby one. This is a very gappy ticker. So I don't like that either. But those are the gaps to be aware of to the south side. This gap that I talked about on Friday the 25th finally closed out, touched right here. So what happened is we were at support, ran up all the way to resistance, slammed back down, and then what goes up here fell back down, and this is the gap up. So I anticipate it to fall down, and that is done. So now I'm anticipating this level 2 to get wiped out, but on the 5, we are in an upward channel. So this is the middle of the trend and the baseline. I'm just going to mark that out for giggles. And so the potential for the middle of the trend at the end of the week, if we continue north, is 1276. The outer band will take us to 1431. And then to the south side, down here. So Fingers crossed for Mr. Quitting Smoking is Awesome. We're rooting for you. And the last one I want to go over is okay. Oh, wait. I want to do one other thing. On the RSI. On the 1 hour, we're turning down. On the daily, turning down. On the weekly, overextended. We're above the 70 range, okay? So we're overextended, still going up, but I know this is going to roll over. That's just what tickers do. You're not going to stay up here forever without taking a breather. Just use this as support and resistance. Support, resistance, support, resistance. And we are at resistance on the weekly. And on the monthly, we are, look at this, turning down on the monthly. All right? Let's get back to the 5. And this is the last one. I've got to hurry here because I am leaving to run errands. Taking my neighbor. All right, so we're at 24.47, down 7.87%. But did I tell you where we were? 8.98, down 7.8%. Okay. And for this one, middle of the trend, 26.55. 28.76, 29.86, and 30.97 to the south side. 23.21, 22.09. So this is support, 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 or it could be a stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, depending upon where you bought in and what your level is, your risk tolerance level. All right, note the sell-off here at resistance, down to support. So I expect this to go up eventually, but right now we're kind of ho-humming over here. It's not clear. All right, and that does it for me. Oh, the price target on this one is $27, which represents a 10.34% return. From here to here, I think it's very doable. The middle of the, not the middle of the trend, but VWAP. Well, that is the middle if you're playing VWAP. This is the upper band, the lower band in the pink, 24.88, and 25.74 is where we could potentially go down to. All right, that is a look at a couple of nuclear stocks on the 5-minute time frame. If there is a ticker that you'd like me to go over, please let me know. Have a good day.